I realize that there's been an offer extended. I realize what the defendant is saying now. Okay. Young man, just listen to me for a second. And why I asked your attorney whether or not he knew about that is because that the Wayne County matter can have certain implications for you. Okay. But because your attorney doesn't know about that, he wouldn't have had reason to necessarily investigate what those implications are for you. Okay. And because of the way that the statute, the HIDA statute reads, as I see it right now, without going into all of the way things play out, you could end up with a number of convictions and no HIDA. Okay. I don't think that's what you want. Right. And that's what I was getting from what you said before about why you may want to do this. It may be, okay, and your attorney's going to check into this, that, and I'm just going to give you a hypothetical, okay? I'm not saying you're going to do this or anything. That if there's a plea in this case or in these cases, you could maintain a HIDA here, but then lose that one in Detroit. Then the question becomes, what happens to you? What's the probation department going to do? Okay. Otherwise, what you could do, you go through and fight these. If you get convicted, you would get, chances are you may not get HIDA on these, and then you lose that one there. Right? Which would not, I know you don't want that. Right? So, and I've just given you sort of a thumbnail of it. What I don't want to have happen is for you to be making that decision without a full discussion with your attorney who just found out about this. And he's going to at least have to make a phone call to try to figure out what's going to happen in Wayne. Yeah.
I don't want him to even waste his time.
What?
I don't want him to even waste his time.
It's not a waste of time. He's got to advise you.
I don't want to.
He's got to advise you.
Okay. What the judge is saying, you can fight this case, but if you lose it, you can. Detroit, you just saying that you make a phone call, see what Detroit's going to do. I know you want to fight these cases, but the judge wants to make sure you know the ramifications of Detroit decision in case you lose.
So I can have a fair chance.
That what?
So I can have a fair chance and know what's going on.
Exactly. I mean, that the problem is we set this case came back, we set everything real quick, but then there's this other stuff out there. And, you know, part of my job is I got to be fair to the people, I got to be fair to you. And so and if I feel that something's not fair, I'm not going to head down that path. That's my job. Okay. So what I'm going to do, and we can consider it, I'm going to find good cause given all of that. I'm going to adjourn the prelim today. Just listen. And here's the reason why. If I thought that that was going to penalize you, I wouldn't do it. Problem is, you're not going to go anywhere anyway, because you're on a no bond hold. They're going to keep you here. So if I thought it was going to keep you in, remember, I'm the one that gave you the bond I gave you, right? So I'm not trying to keep you anywhere, but I got to make sure that you know all of this stuff. Yeah.
If my mom talked to my PO, and if this makes it past prelim, then they're gonna come get me. But my PO is being fair with me.
Well, I don't know that they're going to come get you.
I'm telling you, she said that my PO said that.
POs could say a lot of things about coming to get you. That's not necessarily whose decision it's going to be. All right. I'm just telling you. Young man, here's the thing. you're rushing, trying to make certain decisions. You got a brain, you need to think it through. You need to talk with your attorney to try to figure it out. I understand your mom may have had the conversation. I feel a lot more comfortable if your attorney had the conversation about what they intend to do. Because
Forget about the kids, they never offered you. You get convicted, he's worried about what Wayne County says. You're not going anywhere because Wayne County says. Write down your mom's phone number, and I will.
that's why, can I just say this? One of the reasons you're still here, because remember, the bonds I gave you, you could post and get out, right? Then you have to ask yourself, why are you still here? You're still here because of that Wayne County phone. You're
Right,
not going anywhere.
right. They said, sorry,
Go ahead.
they said, if my PO said this directly, if this is like made over to circuit court, then she's going to come get me. I'm gonna be violated for probation. And that's, of course, not making a deal as well. But I said, can she be fair? Can she please let me make it past preliminary exam? And if the charges are dropped, and she's not violent, she said that she would.
But she didn't tell you that.
She told my mom that. My mom told me.
See, is your mama?
Your mom must know her phone number, and I'll call her. Judge, while we're waiting, there's one other matter. You were gracious enough to give this young man a PR bond. We all expected him to get out
Released. I'll set it. I'll just,
$100 bond.
yeah, I'll just make it $100 bond. So he's getting credit.
That's
You
on,
understand that, young man?
that's on case 25.
See, this is why you need to. You've got a very good, very experienced attorney. You need to listen to him. Okay? Because I think you're making decisions based upon what you see and not understanding everything. All right, that's what I'm seeing. So the reason that he's asking for the bond, I gave you a PR on the one case. Since you could be released on that case without posting it all, right? You're not getting credit on that case for the time that you're in. So what he's asking me to do is to give you a nominal bond of $100 so that you at least are getting credit while you're sitting there. Follow that? Okay. My next date that I have, and I can, which is when it would have been set, other than trying to get everything set, is February 3rd. Will that work for Mr. Tribolowski? Will that
Yeah.
work for your witnesses? All right.
Jill, that he not be released to Wayne County? Is that possible?
I typically don't get involved in that. So it's usually that they won't release him. Wayne County's not going to come and get him because they know where he is. They put their hold in. Once we're done, then they're going to come get him. We done. I don't know where in the process they're looking at trying to do that.
One last question. I guess what to say. Tell me. I think the judge is saying that because you haven't been adjudicated, if there's any movement on this case, Wayne County can sit, let you sit here.
They're not, because they can't. That's what I'm doing. And I'm just doing, quite frankly, you need to start listening to folks. And when I'm saying that, young man, you need to start listening to folks that have law degrees. You're listening to somebody else, right? And you need to start listening to that man sitting next to you about what you should do next. Because right now, as I see it, and what you're telling, you're making all the wrong calls. I gave him the 25 personal on the
Bible.
I'm gonna change that bond to $100 cash as surety. I'm going to adjourn the preliminary examination to February 3rd, 2026 at 9 a.m. Let you check all of that information out. And I don't have a problem going forth, but let him do it with everything in front of him as to what's gonna happen. Right?
Adjourn to February 3rd, Judge, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. before me on both cases. Yes, sir.
Are you able to make the $100, the change to the $100 effective last week, Thursday, so he gets all his credit? It's like it's 4 days, but it's 4 days. I don't know if it is, or we just have to fix it later.
Judge, this young man is saying he gave PR bonds on both cases. I don't recall that.
No, I didn't give him a PR on the,
50,000, 10%.
right, I gave him, well, no, I see it. I did. I gave him a PR on both cases. That's, so he shouldn't even be here right now.
I thought you had left the 50/10.
No, I'm looking at the Caro and it was $25,000 personal recognizance on that one and on the other one. Well, no, something's wrong here. That's not right. I think they got the wrong,
I thought you
they
said.
got the wrong amount. What do you have on that bond? The 1637 should have been left the same because you said that you could post that one. That was the one I had already used. The new charge that came up was, it was the court's intent to do the PR. Correct. And so on 1637, that bond should have been the 50,000 cash surety because he was going to be able to post that. So bond will be continued on that case, that being 1637 at 50,000 cash surety. That case, because that's the one that he could post, right? Then the other case, what I'll do is I'll increase his bond to $100 cash surety. And I'll do the bond. We were here on Thursday. What day was that? 8th. Non-pro-tunc. To January 8th. So he'll get the 4 days credit on that since he hasn't been released.
Judge, on the first case, is it 50,000 or is it?
It's 50,000 cash surety.
No, you took away the 10%?
It was, I don't think it was 10% before.
Yeah. What you raised it for?
I just want to make sure I heard you.
Hang on a second. Let me just,
From Christmas, the 23rd.
let me make sure, because it should have been a bond form in here.
On the 23rd, I had
What
50.
do you have on the 23rd? That's where I'm gonna put it. Those bonds should have been $50,000, 10%. And then his bond will continue at the $50,000, 10%. I knew he had to post, I knew to post it was gonna be 5,000. That's what I knew. So that will be the 10% bond on that one. The other one I'm raising to $100 so they can be credit retroactive to the 8th. Yeah,
I can't post that, the first bond anymore. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, you can't post it, give him credit, because you're not posting. You know what I'm saying, that's how bond works, if he says bond. And we give credit now every day on both cases. You understand what posting bond means?
At 50,000, 10%.
Right, you can't do that. So in return of it, you get all, while you're sitting in jail, you get credit, but you can't post it.
all right. Thank you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks after they check on everything, young man. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, for your consideration.
Court does call the case of the People State of Michigan versus Marshawn Smith.
Andrew Childers appearing on behalf of the people. Michael Gaddy, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Smith, is making his way to the podium.
Take your hands out of your pockets.
Well,
All right. I have your name, sir.
Marshawn Smith.
All right. I have before me a plea form that indicates that the defendant will be pleading guilty to the charge of attempted resisting obstruction 1-year offense. Upon a successful plea to that charge, count 1 would be dismissed. That's the court's full understanding of the agreement.
that is correct, Judge. That's right.
All right. Have him sworn.
Raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Lower your hand, state, and then spell your name.
Marshawn Duell Smith, Marchandduellsmith.
All right. Sir, it is this court's understanding that you're going to be pleading guilty to the charge of attempted resisting and obstructing a police officer. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year incarceration and $1,000 fine plus court costs. You understand that? You need your,
Yeah.
okay. You also understand, sir, that while I'm taking your plea, I would not be your sentencing judge and you would be sentenced before Judge Washington in the 14B District Court. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Still wish to plead guilty?
To get this
Right.
situation over with, Your Honor, like,
What'd you
I mean, to get this situation over
Your
with.
Honor, we're perfectly ready to hold an exam if Mr. Smith does not wish to plead guilty. I don't want him pleading guilty simply to get something over with. If he wishes to plead guilty, I'm happy to stand here next to him and do that. But if he doesn't, then I'm happy to hold the exam.
What do you want to do, young man?
Is it possible for at least for the month that I spent in there, I spent over at least 35 days and they're trying to get out on personal bonds. Then, you know what I'm saying, ended up with a personal bond on the 8th, didn't get out on the 8th, just got out yesterday, like.
You're talking about sentencing as opposed to the plea.
I mean, yes, you know, if I can get time credit for the time that I did spend.
I can't, I'm not the sentencing, so I can't say I'm going to give you credit for time, sir.
And I have explained to him that he will get credit for the days he
Right.
spent against any jail sentence, which I'm not anticipating here, but there's no, there's no promise from the prosecutor or, obviously you can't bind Judge Washington, but I've explained to him that he would certainly get credit for the time he's there, but there's no promise of a credit for time served only sentence.
But if I do proceed with the proceedings, then
If you what now?
I say now, if I do proceed with the proceedings, then I will get what, like,
I mean, with a preliminary exam? If you do that, what are you, I'm trying to figure out what you're asking.
if I do, you know what I'm saying, take the preliminary exam, I mean, what would happen? What will go?
Well, I don't think anybody can say what will happen, but if the people show their case, you'd be bound over to circuit court. And you'd then go to appear on what effectively is what's called a high court misdemeanor felony charge before Judge Conkey.
And if I may, we've made the misdemeanor offer that is available for Mr. Smith today. I cannot promise that that offer will be made again in circuit court.
Listen, young man, again, like I said, I have to make sure that folks understand what they're doing and whatever. So here's what I'm gonna do. I know exactly where we left off in this plea. I'm gonna step off for 15 minutes. I'm gonna let you have another conversation with your attorney and then decide what you want to do. Okay? They've got their witnesses here. Everybody's ready to go. Or you can take the plea or not listen to me and start walking away. All right. Okay, court's gonna stand in recess.
All right.
Not have a trial of any kind.
Yes,
Yes?
yes,
You signed an advice of rights form, is that correct?
yes, I did.
Any question regarding any of those rights?
No,
Okay, I need you to look at paragraph 5. You'll see a copy on the podium. Now, those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form.
yes,
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No, I am not.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plead?
No,
Has anybody threatened you or coerced you?
no.
You're doing this voluntarily
Yes, I am.
of your own free will
Yes,
and because you believe that you're guilty of this offense?
yes.
All right. Get the date. Do I have hang on a quick second. There's a copy for you. No. On the date of December 9th, 2025, at the location of 456 Haynes Street in Ypsilanti Township, Washington County, State of Michigan. Did you come into contact with a sheriff deputy?
Yes, I did.
All right. And what happened?
I mean, I could start, you know what I'm saying, from when I got out of jail that day. I did receive tried to call for a simple standby. I guess, something in that didn't happen to where I was able to go to the place. But when I went to my place, I was greeted by the officer. He did tell me to stop, and I didn't stop. I ran.
Okay, so the officer was there. This is a place you weren't supposed to be without a civil standby, right?
I mean, yeah, I did.
Okay.
For a simple
And so you
standby.
got there and the deputy, you were starting to proceed to it and the deputy told you to stop.
Yes,
And you'd admit that the deputy telling you to stop, that was a lawful command and he was performing his job in doing that, right? And you failed to follow his order or his command,
yes,
correct? Okay. All right. Sir, I do have to advise you that from the time that I accept your plea to the time of your sentencing, if you commit misconduct as defined by the Michigan court rules, the court would not be, you would not be able to withdraw your plea, and the court would not be obligated to follow any sentence evaluation or recommendation. You understand that?
yes.
Counsel, are you aware of any other promises, threats, or other inducements which have led to this plea?
No, Your Honor.
No, not from the defense, Judge.
And have I complied with the court?
Keep us satisfied.
Defense is satisfied, Judge.
Court will accept the defendant's plea to count two. Count one is dismissed. Pre-sentence investigation and report is ordered at 14B probation. Sentencing in this case will be
February 19th at 10 a.m. before Judge Washington.
February 19, 2026, 10 a.m.,
Yes.
10 a.m.
And
before Judge Washington. Yes, sir.
where is Judge Washington's court? Is this the same building?
No, it's not in this building. It's over off of Huron River Drive in Ypsilanti Township.
I'm not,
Okay, what happened is you can call over to the court. I think it's on that sheet, the 14B.
is that by a Kroger's, if I'm
Yep.
not mistaken?
The Kroger's and,
Is the post office right there?
yep,
Okay,
you know where,
I know. it.
yep,
Yeah.
that's the
Because we had to go get our mail. We stayed in Arbor One in there. Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, yep, it's that court right down the street.
Okay.
Okay,
Sir.
all right, thank you, sir.
February 19th at 10 a.m. Okay, I
Yes.
got it. I got it on here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Call that number. Okay.